It's really sad that we're starting off the morning with news of the demise of the Forum for Democracy and Development President, Edith Nawakwi. We have received news that she passed on just this morning. It's really sad that that's how we're starting off, but we have seen her as a leader, as a politician, and with the recent past, she has been in court and able to attend some of her court matters due to her illness, and it had been made public that she had been unwell, and unfortunately this is the news that we're waking up to today. We will talk more on the FDD leader as the program goes on. But welcome to the show once again. My name is Vida Mwale.
Yeah, quite true, Avida, that we have to start our day today with the news that we've lost our gallant leader, former minister of Finance in Zambia. Yeah, she served once as the Minister of Finance under the MMG government, and it's really sad to learn of her death today. She has lost the fight to cancer, so it's really unfortunate. And just like Vida has said, we'll keep you posted, we'll keep you updated on the progress on the funeral arrangements and everything. Yeah, but we were really sad about this news. Just a moment of silence to our gallant soldier. In other news, the U.S. ambassador to Zambia, Ambassador Michael, issued a statement. He addressed the media rather on Friday, and he was disappointed that Zambia had continued to lose money, billions of kwacha and millions of dollars in financial illicit activities on a consistent basis every year. And this is coming when the economy of Zambia is really not doing well. It's not performing well globally. Zambia has been ranked as the 60th poorest nation in the world, and citizens have been subjected to poverty. Citizens have been subjected to hunger, and things are not just moving right now. The economy is breaking down, so it's really sad. And the ambassador really also revealed that the U.S. government had, supported Zambia with a $20 million, to facilitate, to supplement, Zambia's government's effort to combat, the effects that was brought in by the climate change during the 2023-2024 national farming season. But that money wasn't really managed well by the government, I guess, and the ambassador was really disappointed. Also, that the government of Zambia procured maize at a 40% more price than the market price from Tanzania. And sadly, the sad part of that transaction, that maize wasn't actually delivered to Zambia, even having claimed that they paid that money. So it's really sad on what's happening. I don't know what's yeah, this is really sad because once we lose favor from the international community, it might just mean one thing. Investor confidence might just drop down, and that might affect our economy negatively. So it's really sad that that statement was made by the U.S. ambassador to Zambia. That meant that without the ambassador telling us that, we couldn't have known that this is what's really happening. So we can just hear this statement from the ambassador, Ambassador Michael.
Look at a basically flat real per capita GDP trend over 30 years, where the average Zambian is a touch more well off than they were at independence. If you line them up from the poorest to the richest, the median Zambian is actually quite a bit less well off, despite 60 years. We know from the Financial Intelligence Center that every year from recent years, almost 20% of the equivalent of GDP is leaving Zambia in illicit financial flows. And the Zambian Revenue Authority tells us that if they were able to tax that portion which is taxable, there would be an additional $1 billion, 28 billion kwacha available for the fiscus to fund public health, education, roads, elections, you name it. Zambia, mind-bogglingly, last year was wrought with drought, has no control over affecting the weather. But for generations, for multiple Zambian administrations, had ample opportunity to foster an investment climate in agriculture that would have created much more productivity to get the country at least fed through that time. And yet, at the beginning of the drought, the Zambian government signed a contract with Tanzania for 650,000 metric tons of grain to be imported from Tanzania. Paid for 195,000 tons of that. Not all of that has even reached the country yet. And the cost was 40% over the prevailing market rate at the time the contract was signed. And so before we knew of the contract, the United States, as a partner, as a compassionate friend of this country, contributed $20 million to address food insecurity and drought, only to find out that you're paying 48% higher than you should to get grain, and you're not even taking what you received. These are some of the aberrations that I think are leading to the current dynamic in the United States and well beyond. I would argue when you look at all of these things, we've had phenomenal human benefit, but collectively we have failed, certainly in Zambia, and I would argue in many other countries, to create, to spur, to catalyze, to incentivize that kind of.
So that's a statement from the ambassador, and we have a clip from ZNBC, that actually shows the signing, of contract between Zambia and Tanzania for the delivery of the same maize, that is being talked about by the ambassador. So let's watch this clip from ZNBC that features the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Mutolo Piwi.
The government of Zambia and the United Republic of Tanzania has signed a contract for the sale of 650,000 metric tons of non-genetically modified organisms valued at 227 million United States dollars. Speaking during the signing ceremony today in Dar es Salaam, Zambia's Agriculture Minister Ruben Mutolo said the agreement which has been signed is a government-to-government transaction that seeks to address the food security situation in Zambia.
We have signed an agreement for 650,000 metric tons of maize, government to government. We had 8 provinces. Zambia has 10 provinces. 8 provinces out of these have suffered serious consequences. So that is what brings us here. The drought has been very, very severe. Dr. Colin gave the figures. 1.1 million households. And in Zambia, you take an average of 6 persons per household, you are looking at 6.6 million, almost 7 million, directly affected.
And Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit National Coordinator Gabriel Pollen was appreciative of the collaborative efforts between the two countries aimed at improving food security among households.
And the drought is the worst in living memory, at least for Zambians, for at least 40 years. Some even argue around 100 years. So that's how bad it has been for our country. But we're appreciative of the collegial relationship. We're appreciative of the enjoyment and collaboration between our two great nations.
Meanwhile, Tanzania's Minister of Agriculture, Hassan Bashi, has committed to ensure the maize supplied is
So that's it, and that's a contract signing event that took place in Tanzania. I love my country, Zambia. I am patriotic, but things like this really makes me to wonder, to say what's really going on, what's really happening. People are really subjected to hunger. There is hunger in these compounds. There is hunger in these communities. It breaks my heart to really see what's really happening, that we continue losing the money, through illicit activities every year on a consistent basis, whilst our own citizens are really subjected to hunger. I don't know what I can say, but it's really sad.